Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Brothers Take. I am Chris, joined by my brothers, Adam.
Hello.
And Eric. What?
Hello. Hello.
And there's going to be technical difficulties. We are back in the room to talk more about video games. And in this week's episode, we are going to be discussing the recent announcements at the State of Play, which was on February 26th. Yeah. So it was very recent.
Was it?
No, 25th.
Is it 25th?
Yeah.
25th.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't get to watch it. I didn't get to watch it till I think the next day or something.
I watched it later on that night only because I had another thing on. But
I watched it when they aired it, man. That's how prepared I was.
For the first time?
I had it there on my phone with the timer thingy. Like when I first went on State of Play, it was all like I was like, oh, you have an hour and 10 minutes before this starts. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll play the Outriders demo. That was shit. That's not a good demo. They need to work on that. Really.
So there you go, guys. The quality tester, Eric, has just, get working on that. So we're going to be talking about all the announcements from State of Play. Some of them are games that we will have mentioned before at some point, but we might have fresh thoughts on them. So we'll go through each one. Some of them have more to say about than others. And there was a few other announcements that came out in the same day that feel like they should be paired with this discussion. It'll make sense when we get to the end. So they will also be brought into the discussion here. It's only because they weren't PlayStation, really, isn't it? Isn't that the only reason they weren't but otherwise, they're paired with that thing. Anyway, We'll get there. If you are watching this on YouTube, be sure to jump down into the comments section at any point to share your own thoughts on the different games that we go through, which ones you're anticipating, what you're looking forward to, and all that stuff. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this episode at any point. If you listen to us on audio platforms, get in touch with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, and let us know what your thoughts are on these upcoming games that we're showing at State of Play and also the other stuff that we're going to be talking about. All right, fuck it. Let's do the intro.
Alright, episodes rated R.
I don't know. Should we put a red band at the start of all of our episodes from now on instead of...
The following video may was a showcase.
Contain
explicit
bad language.
Well, it does say that. Explicit language.
And Eric's thoughts.
Which are really explicit. That's what if you're on Spotify and you look at our
You
episodes.
play the demo and tell me it's not shit.
But if you look at it like our episodes this on Spotify, there's like a little E beside it.
Yeah.
The E actually stands for Eric. It's a warning to let you know Eric is in this. You have to listen to Eric's thoughts on shit.
Warning: this episode contains Eric.
You have so they have the animation for the person's mouth movement.
Yeah.
Then you might have the subtitles kick in, so the subtitles aren't even matched up with the person's.
Honestly, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Outriders demo.
Right. Then you have, get with the program.
Then you actually have the person's voice kicking it, so it's all out of sync, and then there's no point in being online. I remember I just got onto gameplay and then went, "You're disconnected from the internet."
I
noticed
that in I downloaded Injustice to the PS5.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Give it another bash because I remember
First one?
I didn't have a good experience with it.
Right.
And are the cutscenes supposed to be really choppy and slow and really bad frame rate?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think that was
the gameplay is nice and smooth, but the fucking cutscenes looks like I'm watching a fucking Telltale game here.
I feel like they weren't like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it's performing on PS5, which sounds a bit weird. But, no, but because I remember there was plenty of people even like cut the Injustice cutscenes into a like you could just watch that as a movie on like I know people do that anyway, but it was a big thing where even like I remember like the John Campia show did a review of Injustice as if it was a movie because of this whole big thing that was just put together. Because let's face it, like the gameplay is fine, but the story to Injustice is way better than the gameplay is. You know what I mean? Like the comic book is really good for it. I really recommend that. It's fucking phenomenal. It's really good.
It's just it's odd to get such a because this is the PS4 version of the like it's like the I suppose it got kind of like a remastered in it or something for PS4. And now on PS5 and it's just like poor performing so weird.
Yeah.
So it could be like that, Eric. It could be just
maybe
Outriders is a PS5 game because the frame rates and graphics are really good.
Okay.
It's just poorly made. And it's also actually quite like, so it has the cutscene and then it fades to black to fade into color of the gameplay. Then you run for 5 seconds and then it fades to black and the cutscene comes slowly up. So it's really stop and start as well. Wow. The only thing I like about it is that if you want to create it, because there's 4 classes, you can only choose one when you get to.
Right.
And that's at the end of the prologue. So the only thing actually that's quite intriguing is that you can make a new character, skip the whole prologue, and then just get into the rest of the game. And it gives you essentially the whole opening of the game, which is 18 gigabytes worth of stuff. Wow. So it gives you a good feel of the game.
Yeah,
so I think, I really like that. And I really actually like the setting as well. I think the setting is quite
I've
cool.
never even heard of this.
I haven't heard of it either. I don't know about it. But anyway, we're getting off topic about Outriders. But if anyone here out there is playing Outriders, let us know what you think about it.
Obviously, the state of playing that is not great at this moment in time.
Hey, Captain Segway. So state of play. Yes, we saw all the games that were announced. A lot, not. There wasn't any. There was only a couple of new announcements. Other stuff was stuff that we'd seen before and that they were just kind of re-showing or showing more information on. So we'll go through them, and some will have more to say about than others, I feel. Just before we get into them, is there a game you were hoping to see on it that wasn't at it?
No.
Well, I mean, I was hoping to see every game that's about to come out in the future, I guess. Yeah. But I suppose in realistic expectations.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think what I was expecting was shown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't really expecting anything for this, but when they announced a horror game, I was expecting it to be Resident Evil 8.
Oh yeah, when they were going to
I was like, oh, okay, here's a horror game. Here's Resident Evil 8. Grand. So I was a bit kind of
that's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. So I thought maybe there might have been something else for that, but yeah. No, I wasn't really expecting anything for it. I was like, I'll just watch this. We're going to be talking about it, so I suppose I have to.
Yeah. Nice. I was actually hoping for. I didn't think we'd see anything in God of War, and I know a lot of people seem to be like in the lead up to it were like thumbnailing God of War a lot. I saw that a lot, and I was like, I am still of the opinion we're not seeing God of War till next year. That announcement will come later. That game is getting delayed. I really don't think we're getting it this year. But I kind of thought we might see a little bit more of Horizon, like some gameplay from Horizon maybe. And I thought I was kind of hoping we might see a little bit more Gotham Knights.
Oh yeah,
those were two that I thought maybe we could see that would be big ones that are coming this year. But anyway, we didn't get either of those. But what was the first game shown again?
So it was just a PS5 enhancements to Crash Bandicoot 4.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was about time.
It's about time, really. About time to wait to put that out on PS5 in the first place.
Because not everyone has a PS5. So if you're wanting to sell this game.
No, but I mean is like launch it on the 2 at the same time. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Is it only on PS4 or is it across multiple platforms?
Well, I mean, even if they just I think it's just PlayStation exclusive. But even if they just release it on PS4, you can still play it on PS5. And now they've just enhanced it, which allows them now to build a hype again for it, so it'll get people back into it. And if people haven't bought it, they're now like, cool, there's a PS5 enhancement. Maybe I'll now get it.
Yeah,
So it's kind of, I suppose,
Yeah.
good.
I mean, the development of it is likely, what wasn't planned alongside the release of the PS5. They probably had that finished before summer essentially, and it was a matter of just marketing it. And so I can't even remember when it was launched. Really, was it midsummer, end of summer, when it was August?
No, it was pretty close to the PS5 launch. I remember.
Yeah, but I imagine they probably had that kind of pretty well wrapped up.
Yeah.
And, separate entity.
Yeah.
But I think it's on Xbox and stuff like that, so it's not like.
I don't think
is it?
I really don't think it is. I think Crash Bandicoot is a PlayStation
exclusive
game. I think.
We need some research.
So.
Go on, look research here.
Check it out. Hold on.
Okay. Let's find out.
Let's find out. It's about time we found this out.
Yeah.
Hey.
I don't think so, just because Activision owns it, and I can't see them. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Series X, and Series X. It's probably instilled in people's heads that it's a PlayStation brand, but it's not anymore.
Yeah. I thought it was. I when I was looking at it, I kind of thought, do you know what? If you have it, the haptic feedback is probably really fucking cool in it. Just given the style of game that it is, I feel like platformers are going to lend themselves to the haptic feedback really well. Especially after playing Astro's Playroom. Not as well as that, obviously, because that's built for it. Nothing. I don't think anything will utilize haptic feedback as well as Astro's Playroom does, but that's because nothing will be built for the sole purpose of using haptic feedback. Haptic feedback will be there as a tool to enhance. Do you know what I mean? Like Astro's Playroom was designed to enhance haptic feedback, whereas for future games, they'll just utilize haptic feedback to enhance, say, a sequence or a mechanic like drawing a bow or something, right? So I don't think we'll ever get anything as immersive as Astro's Playroom in reality, but a game like Crash Bandicoot probably lends itself quite well to haptic feedback.
It's good. It's good about this type of announcement is in previous generation, it would have been, this is a brand new game that you have to buy to play on this console. There's a lot of these kind of news now. It's just like if you own the game, you're getting a free upgrade to a PS5 version or a Series X version, and that's nice. That's really nice.
That's pretty sweet.
I like that.
That's pretty sweet. I like that a lot, and that'll come up again. Anything further to say on Crash Bandicoot? It's not a game I'm planning on getting, to be honest.
No, when they're advertising it and they're saying haptic feedback, it's that's cool. Obviously, I don't know how it feels in that game because I'm holding a phone which doesn't have haptic.
Pretty sure,
feedback.
isn't that why it's the only game really that had a voiceover to try and explain how it feels? Yeah.
But I think they were also doing a graphics comparison as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, pretty much the entire state of play thing. I think it's because I was watching it there and then, because I started watching the stuff, some of the stuff, one of the particular videos back, and after state of play was done, and it wasn't blurry. But for me, the whole state of play was slightly blurry or slightly out of focus. It's kind of I'm sure this looks really good now.
A lot of those comparison videos.
I just believe you.
Even Digital Foundry stuff where they kind of go and they show you the two versions and they go and there's clearly signs of artifacting here and you're just kind of
is there? I mean, you're telling me.
Okay.
But also, if you do that thing
that's
where
why
the screen goes across, people do tend to go, wow, it does look better, even if realistically, if you just put the two beside each other, it's very hard to tell the difference.
Sometimes YouTube anyway is just there's such high compression on the videos, and unless you're watching the raw 4K footage,
you just won't.
You're not going to notice.
You won't know.
But I'm sure when you're playing it, Crash 4, you will notice it.
I would say so. Yeah, I'd say if you're playing it. Yeah. So what was the next game?
It was Returnal.
Which is one of the first PS5 brand new IPs. Here's the thing. Can I be honest with this one? Let me ask this one. This one's been shown a lot.
I'm glad you're going to be finally honest with us.
I'm going to be fucking honest for a change, guys. I feel like making a change and opening up. Returnal. Honestly? Yeah. Returnal, right? Looks really fucking interesting to me. I hate the gameplay.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. If it had different gameplay, I would probably get that game. Because the idea of like the world around you changing and the environments look really fucking cool. So, and even just like, okay, so it's another one of those kind of, in a way, it's like Hades. You die and you come back, and you die and you come back, and you have to relearn the enemies and all that, right? And there's a couple more games that are like that now, and it's going to become its own, well, it is its own genre. Roguelite, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I like that, yeah.
So it kind of has that mentality in it. But there was a moment in the trailer where, like, she opened the door to, like, her house, and I went into first person, right?
Yeah.
And immediately I went, okay, that looks way better to me. I was like, why not make a whole game like that where you're first person exploring this foreign alien world that's changing around you? Like, the gameplay looked like a totally different tone to the... I don't know. Yeah. Maybe other people think it looks exciting, but to me, I just think the gameplay is totally wrong for the environments and for the style that they have going around it. But what did you think?
I'm kind of on the same. I've been on that boat. I think since they first showed gameplay to Returnal.
Yeah.
Right. When they first announced it, it was kind of like you kind of don't really know what it's about, but it's like, oh, that's okay. It's just a PS5 game, all right. And then they kind of tell you what it's about, and then they show you the gameplay, and then you're like, it's kind of one of those games where almost like Jedi Fallen Order. It doesn't need this. This seems like the story is the best part to this.
Right.
So if you're constantly dying and repeating it, it's gonna lose the mystery and the interestingness of the story. To me, other people obviously could be different, but to me, it's just like, yeah, you should have picked one or the other. Either be a story game or be a rogue game. You know, be an exploring game or just a.
But I don't even mind the rogue thing. I don't mind the coming back to life thing, right? If that's probably built into the story.
Yeah,
it's actual watching the flashy running, like the actual.
Well, that too, yeah.
And stuff, I thought looked horrible.
Yeah,
I thought it looked terrible.
It was unusual because I was sitting when I was watching this, and it was just kind of like glazing over me a bit, where I'm just like, there's nothing new here really. No. Can't help but get kind of a Control vibe a little bit in terms of like, I think
the fast movement, the constant kind of dodge sort of thingy.
Yeah, but also in terms of market appeal.
Right.
I know Control sold pretty well, but that was on multiple consoles, so it's going to sell a lot better if it was just on a single console anyway. But I can't help but think that this is probably not going to do that well. It might, just because it's the only PS5 game.
It kind of reminds me of even the font in it. Maybe it's the font that's doing it for me, but like it's nothing like this game. But it kind of reminds me of like Haze, when Haze first came out for the PS3, and it's like, oh, there's this PS3 exclusive coming out. It's gonna be great, and it just doesn't kick off at all. And they kind of think that it's gonna kick off, but I feel like it's not. I also think that like some of the gameplay looked a bit like a battle royale, but there's no other players.
Yeah, I was like,
kind of looks like that.
Like I think obviously the studio behind it is like they've made some really, really great games, and they're known for their fast action kind of shooting, and their games are a lot of fun. This is definitely stepping way out of their comfort zone, I think, in terms of going to a third-person story-driven game. But the gameplay, I couldn't help but kind of think it's like a third-person Doom. Like, it's like you're in an arena, and you just have to like kill all the things in the arena, like with super fast kind of shooting mechanics.
Yeah, but it doesn't look or feel right.
Like I mean, Doom has like this real visceral, arcade feel. It's not exactly taking itself seriously, which is what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And whereas this looks like it's trying to be a very serious game, almost like Alan Wake in a way.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get that kind of arcadey feel of gameplay and really, really serious story and work really, really well together. Yeah. You know, that something tends to suffer somewhere.
To me, that game should have a demo.
Yeah, just to get a feel of it.
Because I think it's really hard to gauge what it actually plays like, and I think they could benefit.
I'm thinking a lot of, especially with things like haptic feedback and stuff, because people would want to know how does the game feel with that sort of stuff. Yeah. They should start bringing demos back,
Yeah, just for a little while, just to get people into the hype of what this stuff is actually like and what it means beyond Astro's Playroom.
And also, I think with a lot of PS4 games that people were excited for, having no demo, a lot of people end up getting disappointed by games that they were looking forward to because they ended up not being the way they thought it was going to be.
Right.
And I feel like demos will
that
just...
kind of works in some of the studios' favors, though, a little bit, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, because then they have to pay the 60, 70 euro.
Yeah.
But the demo at least helps build hype, or at least allows some people to know, okay, this game's not actually for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of technical reasons as to why demos have been gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, but I don't think every game should have one.
Well, it should. It just is not going to happen. But I do think some games could do with them more than others, and this is one that to me screams like a demo would be good here because it's really hard to tell what kind of game this is because every trailer I've seen is like a mishmash of like, is this a survival horror? Is it a flashy arena shooter? Is it a exploration focused game? Like, what actually is it? Like how the general audience thinks of this game. Like,
are we
missing something?
Yeah, maybe loads of people are excited.
Yeah, you know when you sometimes see a trailer to something and it's like really fucking vague and you're like, why is everyone hyped about it? But they know something about it that, you know, they've been following it for so long.
Like Cyberpunk, right?
Like Cyberpunk. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying anything about the result of that, but like that's one where I didn't understand it and it seemed to come out of nowhere, but everyone else was like, fuck yeah, the best game ever is coming. And I'm like, what? Guys, The Last of Us and Final Fantasy, why? Why are you so excited? Anyway, cool. So that's Returnal. Let us know down in the comments or on social media if you're interested in Returnal. Game. Very odd. What do we have next? We're shooting through them. Boom, boom.
I think it was Sifu. Is that how you say it? Sifu?
How did they actually pronounced it, and I can't remember if it was Sifu or Saifu. I think it was Sifu.
Some sort of kung fu.
Did that come in that early?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was tempted to I was pretty bored. I think with Returnal bored the shit out of me.
You're 2 minutes into it and you're like, fuck this.
Yeah, I was just like, this is bored. And I got another 28 minutes of this. I can't be dealing with this. And then Sifu came on, and I was like, okay, all right, you're great. I'm reading what you're writing here. I'm
that interested
you? That interested me. I really like the look of it because, like, Red Dead is kind of like the perfect, Western game. Ghost of Tsushima is like the perfect samurai game, and I'm just looking for that perfect martial arts game. So anything that's
something that could be like Enter the Dragon kind of shit.
Yeah, something that's awesome, you know. So the fact that he walks into the start of it, the character's kind of training. It's like, okay, I'm liking the art style here. I don't know really what's going on. And then I saw these thug looking guys in the hallway, and I'm like, I'm hoping this is like the raid. And then the next second, your man's in the hallway beating the crap out of everyone like it's the raid. And I was like, awesome. This is class. And then just the fact that it looks like you get older the more you die. And
yeah, it did look like that, yeah.
Through that, you're getting wiser, and then you're going to different locations, just all the different moves and everything. Yeah, that really interests me. I like the look of that. But again, I wouldn't mind a demo so I can get a feel for it.
I know. Hard to know nowadays. Especially it's when there's a totally new game, a totally new IP that you're not already invested in, that they do cost a lot nowadays. And there's a good reason for that, and I'm not a lot of people think that games are too expensive nowadays, but I think if you know about how much goes into making them, it's actually very fair. There's a lot of hard work, so I'm not saying that, but in some cases a demo is probably a good idea when it's something that it's like, this is a real I don't know if I want to buy it. Whereas if you give someone a good taster that makes them go, I need to play more of this. You know what I mean? If you pick a really good section of it, or if you really structure a demo really well, it could actually sell the game for you.
Yeah.
But I think that looked interesting just based on the kind of the actual artistic style and the actual combat moves that your man was doing in it.
What do you think, Adam? You're a martial artist.
Yeah, this game, I agree. Yeah, I think you definitely need to play it to. Hopefully, it'll make you that sense of just you feel like a martial artist when you play it.
Yeah, makes you feel
basically you want the combat to feel like when you make the Leviathan axe return to you when you're very close. You know that
Yes,
that kind of contact that you get. Hopefully the game would offer that. However, just by looking at it, I don't think there's that much to that gameplay. I think you play a bit of it. That's it. That's as much as the game has to offer. There might be a few more moves here and there, but in terms of capturing the perfect kung fu game, Black Myth, I think, is doing that. I don't think this is going to give you that feeling.
Yeah.
You likely wouldn't get a demo to this because I think that would be the fear that if you played the demo, you've essentially just experienced the game.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's fair.
Possibly.
Okay.
I was actually I was very interested in it when it came on. There's one thing I felt kind of bad as this was going on, right? Because with nearly every game they're showing me, I was like, I am interested, but if only they could change this one thing, which would be like a huge thing that's actually like an overhaul, right? Like, so with Returnal, was like, totally change the gameplay.
Make the game different.
Yeah, make the game the way I want it. So with Sifu, I actually don't like the art style. And I get that a lot of people are going to, but I actually would prefer more realistic looking graphics to that particular style of game. I think I would be more interested in it then. I think it would be more raw, more visceral. It looked kind of like The Walking Dead to me. The Telltale kind of. I think that
it's
with that art style, some of the kung fu is going to be a little bit jagged and not.
I understand why they are using that art style.
Right.
It's because they're the same people who made the game Absolver, who that uses that art style.
Absolver.
So yeah, it's essentially a multiplayer martial arts game. So all they pretty much did was get that and made it into a single-player martial arts game.
Oh, so they're kind of building on it and going, let's do a story version of some of the stuff we've done before?
Possibly,
so maybe if you played Absolver, you might have a fair idea of like what the gameplay might be like.
Well, hopefully they've improved upon it, because I did play a bit of Absolver, so hopefully they've improved upon it.
Have you played all these games? I haven't even heard of Absolver. I don't know that.
And what was the combat like in that?
It was okay. I
remember this game. Yeah.
The enemies were relatively difficult, so it was hard for me to actually fully appreciate all the different combat, the kind of combat style of it.
Did it make you feel like a badass?
No, because all the enemies were way too hard. But going into a hallway full of people and being able to kick crap at them, then I'll feel like a badass.
That would be the thing. I think this game is the what they showed in it, and how you kind of came back kind of older at another age. There's an element of that kind of rogue style thing happening there as well. What looks like it anyway.
Possibly.
I imagine that the amount of combat moves you can do in it and your skill level, there's probably not a lot on offer there, but your enemies will probably get harder and there'll be a lot more of them. I can see the game getting very frustrating. I'm just getting flashbacks of Paul Phoenix from fucking Tekken 3, basically. I'd say it's just going to be such a controller breaking game.
He was so hard, Paul Phoenix.
He was so hard.
And so hard to use.
Yeah.
Hard to fight and hard to use. He's just hard all around.
Yeah. Hard man. He's a hard man.
The hard man. But no, yeah. So I think I'd be interested more in Sifu if we had a different art style. But I know that for some people they're going to like the art style. So that's like a personal preference thing.
Yeah, it's probably going to be PlayStation Plus free. Then I'll get it. Then I'll tell you how it is.
Cool.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. What was next? What was next on the list?
Knockout City.
What was next after that?
Yeah, I totally agree with your assessment of that game.
Yeah, I that one, like when I said in some cases I'd want like one change. That one I'd rather just a different fucking trailer. Like,
you know what's weird about that game? Like, I have a feeling that the studio. Well? No, I don't think it's going to do well. I really don't think it's going to do well.
No, hold on. Can I just say I think it's going to do better than Sifu, and I would rather Sifu did better.
Sure.
I will say that.
It will do better because it's multiplayer and people just.
Yeah, I bet you anything that this was a studio that that essentially wanted to make a dodgeball game and was probably thinking about, well, how can we, how do we make that game but market it towards like today's audience? let's make it a battle royale, and the art style and everything is kind of Fortnite-ish in terms of how it appears. I think that this game should have a single player arcade campaign along the lines of Tony Hawk's or Crazy Taxi, where it's like really, really wild stuff that you're doing. Like, because you could be like having a dodgeball game against an NPC across the city, but then in doing so, you're like doing tasks within the town or whatever. So it's got like this really wacky campaign, and then later introduce a multiplayer mode. I feel like that is going to be a much more effective campaign for that particular game. I think launching it as a battle royale game, it's like how many battle royale games is there? Why would you play this over Fortnite?
Over Fortnite, which now has
Why would you throw a ball at people? Well, you see, I feel like people
why would you throw a ball if you can shoot them in the face?
The American way. No, what? Like, why?
If you can dodge a bullet, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. I don't know. I feel like people are going to get really into, like, the only thing that's going to save this game, I think, is something that they showcased in the trailer, which is the idea of like trick shots. I think that's going to be the thing that people are like, check out these, like, or check out how I got this person who was like really hard to get and I got them. Trick moves and shit, which that's not something that you really get in Fortnite. Bullets fire straight. So I don't know. I think that's going to be the draw for people.
There's going to be some streamer that's going to make this blow up. The game isn't good,
agree.
But the streamer is going to find a niche with it. It's going to explode, and everyone's going to be
That's why I think it's going to do better than the likes of Sifu, even though it shouldn't. It's going to be, it's going to be like a Twitch hangout fucking thing. People are going to watch someone make funny videos with this shit.
Yeah, especially the fact that like your teammates can turn into the ball that you can then throw at the enemy. Like, that sounds...
Is that not how the guys won the match in the movie El Dorado? You remember that
kind
movie?
Of, yeah.
The animated movie? The little is it an armadillo or something? Turns into
a
ball
for them?
So they could pretend that they have divine control over the ball. Remember the Think to the Gods?
Yeah.
That movie was way better than this trailer. Sorry.
So far, yeah. Not a strong start.
No. Like I was sitting there watching it and I was like, like, where's my? It's okay though, because I know that like Horizon is coming or something, right? There's gotta be something. There's gotta be something. So if you're still listening, guys, and if you're like us, you're watching State of Play and you're just like, oh, I don't know, I'm barely holding on. Don't worry, the good stuff is coming. The good stuff is coming.
I don't know. That depends.
That depends on what you're into, actually.
Might be like, that Dodgeball City thing looks awesome. It's like Rocket League, Overwatch, and Fortnite slapped into one.
If that's your thing, you let us know. If that's your thing, that's cool. Like, we'll disagree with you, but that's cool. No, I shouldn't. What was the next one?
Next one was called Solar Ash. And
I
remember when that came up. I think it was probably shown at a State of Play before. I think it could have been. But I completely forgot about it. But the minute I saw the art style, I was like, this looks a lot like Hyper Light Drifter, but like with the pathless.
I thought immediately of the pathless.
Yeah.
And then when they showed the big monsters and shit, I was like, it is the pathless, right?
It's the pathless with Hyper
How did
Light
they happen
Drifter
so quick
artwork.
together?
Yeah, strange. That's
very strange. It's really similar.
Yeah, and if it's anything like Hyper Light Drifter, this is gonna be a tough game, like a tough game, and I
reckon it will be tough.
That'll be the difference then between it and the pathless. I imagine the pathless might have some challenge, but I imagine it's more of a meditative style experience. If it's like the other one, Solar Ash, it's probably gonna be brutal. But the art style is awesome. I love the colors.
The art style's cool. I think the pathless is probably a game that you can kind of take your time with, and this game you have to keep up with. I think that's probably. I think that could be the difference. So the pathless you can take at your own speed, like you can go as fast as you're capable of in terms of like taking it on, and then I think this game is like, like it was so fast paced, and fast moving, and they kind of talked about the whole thing is about rhythm really. But yeah, it immediately reminded me of the Padless. I thought the font was fucking badass. I just gotta throw that out there. They actually, you know, it said Solar Ash, and the way like the O was like a kind of like meteor thing or something like that. But it looked really fucking cool. It looked awesome and sci-fi.
I love that color palette. That kind of like the kind of neon-y pink and cyan kind of look.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a cyberpunky look to it, but it's all kind of natural and stuff. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's not my kind of game.
No.
Well, but I also this isn't one where I was like, off like they fucked this up, that the gameplay is so wrong or whatever. Like I wasn't that. It was like, if someone's into this kind of game, that looks good. It actually looks like a good game. Probably so far of the games that I'd seen, it looks like the most solid game that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like, okay, so Sifu looked interesting, but didn't really see gameplay. Like it was hard to tell, like what's gameplay and what's cutscene in that. Like it was really hard to tell. Whereas Solar Ash, it showed you the gameplay and it talked you through it. So you know exactly what you're getting if you get it, and if it's your kind of thing, then you know it looks like a solid game. What did you think of that one, Eric?
This went over my head.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really enjoy the state of play at all. So like even Solar Ash, I was a bit like, I don't care.
Right.
I'm not getting this. I don't really, whatever. I couldn't really understand it, to be honest. I was like, so he's latching onto green, he's hitting the R. What the fuck is he? What's going on? I don't know.
The bit that confused me was when he went down to like, I don't know what you might describe as like clouds or something like that, and then it seemed to like disappear into them, and I don't know. It looked like it was hard to follow in places.
Yeah, I feel kind of like, the way you were talking about the path list is like, we have a lot of these coming anyway, so we almost don't need another one. Kind of like the Dodge City crap yoke, right? That it's like we already have a shit ton of, not even just battle royales, there's a shit ton of multiplayers, especially with this art style. We have so many of them that it's like, we don't need this.
Yeah.
I know you guys put a lot of work in, but we kind of don't really need another one. So with Solar Ash, I mean, I can understand if people would enjoy it. I can understand why people would be hyped. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially if it's challenging. People love challenging games.
Yes,
and people love color palettes and everything like that, and artistic styles. So I can understand why people would enjoy it, but we have tons of them. We have loads. We have Gravity Rush. We have the Pathless.
Well, I don't think it's going to be anything like I think the comparison.
But no, that kind of
Pathless is quite similar,
that kind of fast movement, or the Pathless, a kind of palette style as well. Journey. I feel like you're not really going to understand. There's not going to be any vocalization to the story.
No.
There's going to be a lot of kind of like the Journey. There would be a bit of a.
This is like an indie style game.
Yeah. So, and we have a lot of indie games.
Yes, it's like an indie style game.
Indie guys, stop doing what you're doing.
Stop that way, guys. You're only making some of the best and most compelling games. Stop it. It's like an indie game with a big budget, isn't it? That's the kind of
I mean, if you see Hyper Light Drifter, you can see that it is absolutely a kind of third person, like that kind of over shoulder view of Hyper Light Drifter. It's almost exactly the same thing, and that was a fucking awesome game. That was really cool. Hard as fuck, but really cool.
What was next on the list?
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
I got nothing, guys.
None. I've got none. I think we can pass on this. Yeah.
I think so. I didn't even think what the show looked scary or looked like. Yeah.
This was the one where I was like, oh, this must be Resident Evil 8 again.
I know.
And then they did that, and I was like, kind of wish it was Resident Evil 8.
Yeah. It's like, you can show me Resident Evil 8 again if you want. I'm fine with that, because the more hype you build for that is cool. No, I'm not. I didn't care about this at all. So. Sorry, guys.
It was a bit. I suppose the only thing I would want to add is that when they said that he introduced it as a horror game, this next horror game, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't scary.
And it's like, I don't know if I'd classify that as horror. Tense, maybe, but horror.
No, it's probably scary to play when you got your headphones on and shit is looking for you. But the trailer itself was not scary. which
no, not at all.
really hurt the presentation. I thought.
I think as well when they first said the horror, then I think they started to talk a little bit more about it before they showed gameplay. I started to think. So for a second, I was like Resident Evil 8. Then I was a bit like, or is this that other Dead Space looking one? Are they going to show us more of that?
Oh,
and
yeah.
that would have also been really good to see.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more of that.
Like any other horror game.
Part of me was kind of hoping for Silent
Hill.
Yeah, that would have been good.
It's only a matter of time.
That's too big, I think, for
something
like
on that comes, but it's going to be announced on its own and on its own terms, I think. Yeah, they won't let that happen at State of Play, I don't think.
Needs like a big stage performance or something.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking creepy. Yeah, they'll play the Silent Hill music and it's just going to...
Pyramid Head's going to come out on stage.
Oh, shit. Okay, what was the next game?
Oddworld Soulstorm.
Cool. Fucking cool. I actually thought this is not a game that I would buy, right?
Right, yeah.
But I was like, you know what? If this came to PlayStation Plus, I would get it. And then they announced that on launch.
Yeah.
It's coming to PlayStation Plus. I was like, holy shit.
I know.
That's fucking cool. So I was like, I remember playing Abe's Odyssey. I have kind of a nostalgia, like I always think when I think PS1 games, Abe's Odyssey is one of them. That is like just ingrained it. Like even when it came on the PlayStation Classic, and it was like, okay, so there's a few other games that should have been on the PlayStation Classic, but Abe's Odyssey absolutely deserves to be there. So I was like delighted that that's there. So in that sense, I was looking at like some of the the graphics look great. The world looks really interesting. I'm not a huge platformer guy, so ultimately, if it had a different gameplay style, I probably would prefer it. But as platformers go, it looks like fun. And the fact that it's coming to PlayStation Plus on day one is, I'm like, okay, cool. So I have it. It's mine as soon as it launches. Great. I'm definitely going to play it. I am going to play it.
Yeah, I like that the gameplay, they've added quite a lot to it since obviously Abe's Odyssey first came out, but there's still a classic element to it. Like it still feels like if you loved the original, it will feel like it, but then there's that extra bit to it as well. I think it coming to PS Plus is really going to help it because I don't know if I would have I probably wouldn't have picked it up, but playing it on PS Plus is like I'll definitely give it a go.
That's the thing, like because it's on PlayStation Plus, you will play it, won't you?
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you? Like it's like it's there and it looks better than a lot of games that you do get on PlayStation Plus. And it's built for PS5, so it's gonna have haptic feedback and stuff, which I think is gonna be really cool when you're like oi 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 and all that kind of shit. Like it's good. I think it's gonna be cool. And like even like they've shown a lot of the trailers. There's this like train sequence.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like modern platforming is gonna look cool because of the way games are cinematic nowadays. So like platforming on shit that's like moving or I don't know. I think I thought that one looked really good. So I'm
like good. The graphics were actually really really good for it. Really well. The lighting for it. I love the fact you can craft. I like that. Yeah, in the first one, Abe's Odyssey, that you were like just trying to escape. You were powerless. It was all just about outwitting. And now you're a fucking resistance leader. You're the John Connor of Oddworld. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Soulstorm. See, guys, it's not all negative. You see?
Yeah.
It's starting to come up.
It only took 6 games.
It's gonna get good. Yeah, let us know if you're interested in Soulstorm. Let us know if it's something you're gonna pick up. If you have PlayStation Plus, like you're gonna play it. I feel like there's some PlayStation Plus games people give a miss. If it's just not your cup of tea, like it could be there, but you just don't want to.
You could even because even the remake of Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey that came to PS Plus.
Yeah.
I played a couple of hours of it. I never cleared it, but it was great to be able to go back to a game like that, such a classic.
Yeah.
And make him fart and whistle. It's just it's what you want.
Yeah. No, I never cleared it, and I think with more modern gameplay, I possibly could clear this one, and it's gonna have a lot of the nostalgic like callbacks. So yeah, I look forward to it. New game, why not? Cool. What was the next game on the list?
Next one, I thought this was really interesting. Kena, I think it's called Kena.
Yeah.
Yes,
Kena.
yes, sorry,
Kena or Kena.
Yeah.
Bridge of Spirits.
That's come up a few times. That looks good.
That like the kind of Pixar-y
Yeah,
animation to that looks great.
yeah. It automatically looks like one of those like Pixar movies, doesn't it? Like even those little creatures.
Yeah.
It looks great. Actually, looks really good.
Thank God I was able to see this before State of Play, so that I know when it came on. It's like, oh, I know that this has good graphics and it's all Pixar because see, Soulstorm was like the blurriness was kind of okay. And then this one, the blurriness was quite bad. So I was like, okay, well, at least I know the graphics are good for this. And
you should have watched this on your console, you know?
Yeah, man.
Rather than, because your mobile date.
I had the Outriders demo paused there, and I was watching on my phone. So
that's
what? That's ridiculous, man.
You do know you can. You can leave a pause. Switch to YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't really want to like. I didn't want to be like. It doesn't matter. Right. So we're all not here.
Do you know what? I didn't get a great sense of. I know they've shown it before, and there's a little bit in this trailer, but I didn't get a great sense of the gameplay.
No, not at all.
But it's still like so this is one where the art style is like, okay, this looks really good. But I don't really know how it plays.
Yeah, like at one point it does look like she uses her staff as like a bow or something like that.
Yeah.
So it looks like she used her staff for various things, but yeah. I mean, actually, the end of it, she had a boss fight or something, didn't she?
That's what it looked
like.
Yeah, and it kind of looked a bit like a much more forgiving kind of form of like Dark Souls or God of War or something. That kind of like a circular arena, big boss, and you have to kind of.
I think it's going to be difficult. I think it's going to
be
a little bit like it's not going to have the same identity and the same little markers, but I think it's going to be a little bit like a Zelda game.
That'd be nice.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Like it almost to me looked a little bit like that Black Myth game a bit. Only it's like let's make this look like if Walt Disney Pictures or if Pixar Animations did Black Myth.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And yeah, I think the art style. I think that's the great thing about this game. Although the gameplay doesn't look evolutionary at all, in terms of art direction and what you can achieve with small animations with characters, the kind of blurred background effects, the lighting, this is really gonna push video game graphics, I think, and that kind of cartoon aesthetic, making a living, breathing cartoon. I think Ori and the Blind Forest did that, and that's I'm not mad on Ori's gameplay, but the art style and the music just has me keep coming back to that game. And I think this could do something similar.
Yeah, I think this could be really, really good. I think it's going to do well. I think there's a lot of faith in it. Like it comes up a lot. It seems like some of the games that they think are going to sell particularly well were shown at the end of the play. Right? I maybe I'm wrong, but that's like maybe someone's like, no, fuck you. The dodgeball thing was the stole the show. But that's not true. That can't be true for anyone. But no, I think this looks really good. I'm looking forward to seeing more. I'd like to see more gameplay though. I'd like to see like a full, maybe even like someone talking over it and showing you some of the shit you do.
Yeah. And
that would be the point where I kind of make a decision on whether this is for me or not, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what this state of play was really missing though? I felt the whole way through it. I was like, it really needs another trailer to Deathloop. That's what it absolutely needed. I think this, it's probably one of the worst state of plays because it didn't have a Deathloop trailer.
Yeah, it really was missing a Deathloop trailer, wasn't it? And then lo and behold,
how many fucking times do we have to see this game?
I am no more excited for it than when they first showed it. Sorry for anyone who's really looking forward to Deathloop. I think people probably are. I think Deathloop is actually going to do pretty well.
Yeah.
Do you know what my one grime with Deathloop is? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of things I would change about it actually, but I actually think they should be embracing like the art style of the game is not as cool as the art style of like their kind of 60s trailer graphics.
Yeah, the 60s style. Yeah.
They should actually have the characters look like silhouettes and shit or something.
Yeah.
Like that would be fucking way cooler. Like the whole time, anytime they showed like the name or something, it was like, oh, this is kind of Bondy. And the fact that this had a Bond song, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. that's the coolest thing about this game I've seen so far. But it's cool. But yeah, I really wish that it looked more like a 60s kind of spy thriller thing rather than the style that it has. The style that it has is kind of, I don't know, it reminds me of Fortnite. I haven't really played Fortnite, but anytime I see images, that's what it reminds me of.
Reminds me of BioShock and Apex Legends slapped together.
Yeah,
that's a very accurate description. But in terms of gameplay, look, it kind of looks like they took like the Dishonored kind of assassination techniques and just decided to put a time trial on that, and also someone trying to kill you at the same time, and there's your game. It's a bit like why I don't know why this has to be shown again.
No, at this point it's like
the trailer is called Deja Vu as well, which is just fucking like, all right.
We get it. We really get it. We really get it. Like
and I have
they show nothing new every time.
No, yeah, that's it. It's the same thing over and over and over. There's nothing new with this game.
This game is the definition of that Far Cry 3 quote, which is like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results is the way to drive yourself crazy. This trailer is the fucking definition of that. Like, I'm going to show it over and over again and watch everyone go lose their minds.
I think people are going to like it. I think it's going to do well on like streaming and stuff and on like Twitch, because the whole thing of like trying to kill all the targets within 24 hours before you get killed. It's probably going to go down well in that sense, but it's not for me.
I just love to know like why both Bethesda and Sony felt like they needed to show it again.
Yeah, like there's definitely other games I wanted to see way more. Way more.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6.
I knew that wasn't happening, but I'm really surprised we didn't get Horizon. It has me a little bit worried, and I am still convinced to this day God of War is not coming out this year. I really don't think it is. I know they said it.
It's looking more likely, all right.
I think that's next year for sure. I'm waiting on those delay announcements. Like that's what I'm waiting on. But we'll see. Maybe I don't know. Come on, is the good shit next? Jelly, you're just holding us back now.
Yeah, this is the end of the show. That's it. That's all there was. That's all there was.
That's it. That's all there was. Thanks everyone. Thanks for listening to our episode. Nah, fuck that shit. Okay, let's talk about what stole the show. What was it? Was it
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
It's coming.
That is it, and it's.
Why did I get more excited?
It's semi-free, isn't it? It's like
kinda.
If you have the
doesn't matter, take all my money.
Take my money.
You get this PS5 upgrade.
Yeah. If you have it.
That to be honest, I'm way more excited for that feature than I am for the extra kind of chapter. But the extra chapter, well, why not? I'm going to replay the fucking thing anyway with the new update.
I was like, give me another reason to replay this game. No problem. Sure. Let's do it. Actually, I replayed 7 Remake on the PS5 not that long ago.
Same.
And I don't know what it was, but I've still fucking really enjoyed the game. It's still my favorite game from last year. But it looked worse than it ever did on my PS4. And I don't know why, right? Like, it looked way worse. It looked like a PS3 game. And I was able to just look past it because I really enjoyed the gameplay and everything. But it looked really... And I had HDR on and everything. And then I had it off. And it seemed to make note it looked way worse than any other time I played it on the PS4, where I was like, oh, this looks amazing. And then I was like, do I just have... Like, have I been looking at this with, like, did I just think it looked good? Like, I couldn't remember. And then when I rewatched... Because I rewatched one of our older episodes where we had gameplay footage in it. And I was like, no, that looks really good. So what the fuck is going on? So now that there's a PS5 upgrade, I'm like, oh, thank fuck. This is going to look great now.
Mine looked the exact same as what it did on PS4. And I was playing on PS5.
I don't know what it was.
That was weird.
Likely, I don't know. When you were playing it, Chris, initially, did you have your 4K TV at that point?
Yeah, I mean, it was... same TV. Yeah.
Did you not
I don't know what it was.
Oh, right, okay.
No, same TV. So yeah, it was fucking. I found it weird, but anyway, I'm really excited. I think we all knew this was coming though.
What?
Well, not here, but I knew it was.
I didn't know it was gonna be a state of play.
Oh.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
PS5 upgrade. Yeah. PS5
I was wondering
upgrade.
what was taking them so long to.
In
make
terms
that
of
update.
state of play, I'd kind of lost hope.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a write-off. And then
Yeah.
and then as soon as I saw the train, and I was like, you know what? If this is just a trailer to like buy on PS4 again, I just like, well, hey, let's do it again. I can't wait to play this game again on PS4.
What?
Photo
What?
mode.
Yes, like okay, that was where I was like, thank you.
This is the shit.
This is what I want. I want photo mode.
Photo mode.
What bit are you like? What moment in Final Fantasy VII Remake are you most looking forward to seeing with the PS5 upgrade?
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you open it.
No. The apartment door.
The apartment door.
I want to see that fucking door. I want to see how good it looks.
Yeah, for me, it's like just being able to. Well, I suppose any moment where you're able to see Midgar in the distance, whether you're up on top looking down, or something like that. It looked from the stream at least that has been greatly improved.
Yeah, that's
so
really good.
and just being in Sector 7 slums and just looking up.
Even up, yeah, and the definition on like the steel plates.
Yeah, like that.
Good.
Because that just really took me out of it originally a little bit.
Yeah,
because everyone else looked amazing. I couldn't believe they had and improved lighting. I'm like, what? How can you improve that lighting? That honestly had the best lighting of every game last year.
Where you would have called bullshit as if it went improved music. You'd be like, oh, now I know you're.
yeah.
Now I know you're pulling the wool over my eyes. I mean, yeah, I can't wait to replay it.
The loading, holy shit, the loading.
The loading, fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
June 10th.
Oh, that's
coming.
That's long.
And if you upgrade, you can carry over your save file. So you can still jump in wherever you want, basically. Like, I would do the full game again, because you don't want to experience the whole thing in one go, surely.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I can't fucking wait. That's great. It was such a good idea. I'm surprised that you see, it's state of play, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't mentioned yet what the fuck is going on with the PC version, which will also obviously be that Intergrade version. Because the PlayStation exclusivity ends in March or in April. It was a 1-year exclusivity.
Yeah, it's pretty weird that there's been no
mention that PC version.
Is it PC? Is that what's coming to?
Well, people feel fairly confident that it's going to come to PC. Most Final Fantasy games do end up on PC. It's questionable whether Xbox will get a copy.
Yeah, I think
I feel like Xbox won't.
Yeah, I feel like it probably won't either. Just yeah.
I think PC definitely will.
Yeah.
Like 100%. It's just a case people just keep talking about where is that PC version? When's it coming?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's only a matter of time. I am surprised. I am surprised why they didn't show this at their concert, which is where originally they talked about their big announcements, and then they never showed anything. And everyone was like, "What happened there?" Everyone was tuned in, waiting for it. Everyone was ready to make a video about it, and then it never happened. And there was follow-up videos going, "Well, guys, nothing to report." Pretty bummed out, to be honest.
Yeah, a little weird, actually.
People actually bought tickets to watch the concert for those announcements, so that they could be the first to like talk about it and stuff.
No.
Like, because I watched back a lot of those like videos.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was a cool concert for sure. Like, it was great, but there wasn't even a mention of like why they didn't even like. And then the next day, like, just radio silence, like nothing. So
I think that one of the final kind of PlayStation announcement then would have been the PS Plus game announcements.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to PS Plus. And
I can't believe that.
That's unbelievable. Like, it's a year. In its year anniversary, it's free.
Giving it to you. What the hell?
Part of the subscription, but
I can't believe they're doing that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that either. And like,
why are they doing that?
It's hard to know whether or not, though, if you have that version
It won't. I looked into that. It
Okay,
won't.
so you don't get the PS5 upgrade.
Yeah, no, you don't get the PS5
Yeah, so if you
upgrade.
get the PS Plus game,
Yeah,
it won't upgrade. But maybe if you enjoy that so much, because you were paying, if you're paying for PS Plus anyway, right? Essentially, it's like I know you do pay a subscription fee, but essentially you're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake for, free or for a fraction of the price.
yeah.
If you enjoy it enough when you're playing it, maybe you'll be like, you know what? No, I'm invested. I'm gonna pay for the PS5 version now. I wanna play it. You know what I mean? It would have been a terrible idea for them to let you upgrade from like.
But that must be like a record, though. I can't think of a single game that
after
like
a year?
after 1 year it came to PS Plus.
Oh, it's mad.
I mean, there's been a few games that like launch with PS Plus.
like Soulstorm is,
Yeah, well, they were like kind of lower tier, I guess. In turn, like I mean, this is a Game of the Year contender.
Yeah.
That's madness.
Yeah. It is crazy. Well, like okay, let's put it this way: The Last of Us Part 2 won't be a PS Plus game this year. Later on the year.
Jesus, will it even?
Never, probably. No,
yeah, probably not.
Well, maybe eventually, like 4 years time, it might. You know what I mean? When we've moved well on from it. But yeah, that it was just fucking nuts. But maybe we should talk about the extra content. Which is
sure thing.
Who
That's the end of State of Play. That's the end of State of Play.
No. There's extra content in that.
Oh, in the PS Plus.
Yeah, Yuffie.
Yeah, in the Intergrade, Adam. What the fuck?
Apologies. Sorry, I was just so like hyped about photo mode, I forgot about Yuffie.
So, who was? Okay, first of all, did you think that we were going to get DLC for 7?
Not really. I did, because honestly, I was a bit like, it doesn't really need any DLC.
Right.
It's a fairly finished product. So if it did, I was a bit like, maybe some extra summons or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Then seeing Yuffie, and I was like, oh my god, we're getting Yuffie. We get to play as Yuffie and get to see what she's like, the new version. And somehow they hit the nail on the head. That's what she sounds like in my head when I read her voices in the fucking original. Son of a bitches.
I actually thought, here was my big brain theory. I knew a PS5 version was coming, and I thought it would have extra content. And the extra content that I thought it would have was possibly an extra mission where you play as Tifa after Cloud went missing in her lead up to the Don Corneo thing. I actually, because there was talks before of them making a mission there for that, and they just never finished it. So then I thought maybe now they'll have the time to finish it and they'll pop that as extra content. And I thought they might make Red 13 playable so that you get an experience of what Red 13 plays like, because he's obviously I feel like what I thought was that he's the first character they need to figure out for the next one, because he's with your party now from the beginning. So so I thought, I was like, I hope they show that. I'm so excited for that. And then they showed fucking Yuffie, and I was like, wait, what? What are you doing? Why is Yuffie here? What are you doing? I thought this would be like a secret, right? Like she's going to show up and steal your materia and a boss fight with Yuffie. What are you doing? Why are you showing Yuffie? What's going on? Why is she here? What's going on? Are we going to get a DLC at some point before we get the next remake where we get to play as each of the other party members? Is that what you're doing? And are you just starting with Yuffie?
That thought crossed my mind. And I like that it's said as well during that bit when Cloud goes missing as well.
It is. I noticed that.
Yeah. I also noticed something else, but we'll get Adam's thoughts first before I notice the other thing. But I think the gameplay looks really fluidly awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see it like doing the DLC. It kind of opens up that possibly that's how they're going to handle a lot of the, I suppose, side questy stuff that is in the main story. Like you could probably streamline the main story from here on out.
Yeah.
But they could now still tell those tales in this manner. Right. Bringing Yuffie in at this early there's obviously a reason for that, I imagine. Perhaps, are they going to keep it as she still becomes an optional member? Maybe they just want to give you an opportunity. No.
No way. That would be crazy. Why would you bother do that?
Yeah. But it's just why bring her in then this early.
But it's like okay, would you put the resources into creating and like getting a voice actor and everything for a character like that and make them an optional party member? You just wouldn't. Like Yuffie and Vincent are at this point staples. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Vincent's definitely going to be there. There's no way you're not going to have Vincent.
The only reason they were optional in the original, which I still can't make sense of, but they always bring it up to go, oh, it's because of time constraints. I was like, surely, if because now you have to program if they're there and if they're not. Why wouldn't you just put them in? Like, so they said for time constraint reasons, they made those characters optional, which I can't wrap my head around at all. No, I know, I don't get it. But I think this time around, there's no way they're optional. No way. Yuffie looks like a lot of fun to play as.
Yeah. But honestly, I still am more blown away by just the PS5 upgrade. That it's like, yeah, this is great, but I've already peaked in terms of excitement.
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't really matter what you show me. I'm just happy to get photo mode.
Yeah. I'm happy to look at like some beautiful skylines with Aerith. That's all I want.
That's all I want. Eric, what was the other thing?
Are the flowers going to look better? Are the flowers going to look better in Aerith's garden?
Can the flowers look better? That's the real question. What will the tonberry look like?
Oh, fuck. It's like real life. That's exactly what they look like.
That's exactly how I pictured them. What are you doing? Midgar looks just like that.
What are you doing?
Eric, what was the other thing you noticed?
Okay, so actually two things that we were talking about Yuffie. So one of them was, is Yuffie in Midgar because of Final Fantasy VII Remake's ending? So therefore it's now showing us things are different.
Right. Okay, let's start with that one.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
I think at the time that she's there, this is just my theory, with the timing of where it is, no. I don't think so, because it looks like she's there at a point in the story that's well before the end of the game. I know.
Yeah.
It could be that if maybe it went back, but I feel like they're just playing into the whole Wutai Shinra war thing. They're setting that up even more and more. And also, you can meet Yuffie on that first continent when you leave Midgar.
Yeah.
As soon as you go through the Mithra mines, any forest in the world will randomly bring up Yuffie.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, she's supposedly on that continent during that part of the game. So they're just deciding that while you're in Midgar, she's actually doing espionage in Midgar as well. You still won't meet her till you're out in the real world, probably.
Yeah.
You know?
I just thought that crossed my head.
Yeah.
The other thing was, thank God I played Dirge of Cerberus, so I could understand the end of that fucking trailer.
So that's the thing I was gonna bring. So that is Deep Ground then.
That was Vice at the end.
Yeah. So I was a bit like, that's really cool that I know who they are because I spent fucking too long playing that shit game.
That's quite interesting that they're like
very interesting.
Yeah.
So are they roping in essentially the compilation into this remake?
Definitely.
And like constructing it in a much more coherent story as opposed to just like fucking random shit happening.
Yeah. And will be, but depending on how it lines up timeline wise, like maybe you will kill Vice as a final boss in this DLC thing.
Yeah.
And because at the end of it he doesn't have to live, and Deep Ground maybe never happens in the future.
Possibly. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, it's interesting. Like, I mean, like now Remake is not just the main game. Remake is the entirety of the comp. Could the Advent Children be a DLC at some point? You know what I mean? Like, is that a moment that could end up happening?
I think it's very possible.
Not as a sequel, but just as a side quest.
I think it's very possible that we will see Kadaj, Laz, and Yazoo in one of these games.
That would be fucking cool fight.
Oh, boy. Cool fight. Imagine they got the original voice actors for it. Because I know, well, actually, they probably wouldn't.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't in this case, no, just because they've been giving everyone a bit of like fresh life in this particular project. I will say that I was a little bit worried when I saw this trailer with Yuffie, the way she's behaving, right? Which is like, it's bang on, right? She's like the most anime character of the party, right? Yeah. So it's bang on. And she's always going to be a bit like that. But it's like, I was like, oh, well, there's that crazy dialogue that people just don't say and they don't talk like that. But then I had that thought on one of the trailers for the remake anyway, with the way they cut, certain scenes. Like, it's like they showed all of the really cheesy scenes in one trailer where they had like Jesse and Biggs and Wedge and Roach, and it was just like, oh god, what is this game going to be like? And then I played the actual thing and it was like, this is the most like bearable voice acted Japanese game I've ever played. This is actually really, really good. So bearing that in mind, that the trailer could be slightly misleading as to what the levels of slight cringe could be, I'm just like, you know what? Have a bit of faith in what these guys have done so far, because like the remake was fucking phenomenal. I also think that guy, whoever her partner is, right, which looks like he fights in battle with you, so you can obviously take control of him, I imagine, during battle. Mm-hmm. There's a certain character they couldn't introduce yet. But what they could do through this character is figure out their moveset.
Sid?
No. Yeah.
Sid.
This guy had like a big spear thing, and in it does a move that Sid did in Advent Children.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Where he launches it. I feel like they're taking an opportunity that with a different character, not totally figured out, but figure out some of like, it's like, okay, let's figure out Yuffie and let's figure out Sid. Even though we don't have Sid, we could figure out his like moveset. We could also figure out how characters interact with each other in combat, so that later on down the line, when we've got more party members, the way they could like link up attacks and shit.
Especially
that's something that stuck out to me.
Doing Advent Children as a game,
right?
Right? Because
is that happening? Do we need to? Will we branch off to the?
Yeah, we'll segue that. Like, why did we bother talking about State of Play?
More Final Fantasy shit. All right. Okay.
Oh, it's Final Fantasy.
So okay, they finished off State of Play with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade.
Yeah.
You'll all be fucking getting. Yes. And then you get off State of Play and you realize all over Twitter and all over Facebook, Square Enix have just fucking hit the world with, check this out, we're dropping the soundtrack. Check this out, we're dropping some mobile games. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Check this out, here's some key art. What the hell is happening?
So, so there was... everyone gets a car.
Yeah.
I'm giving us stuff.
And you get one, and you get one. Okay, so there was 2 mobile games. Let's start with the less interesting one, and then let's end on the interesting one.
Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it?
Right?
Yeah. Like, what's it called?
The first soldier.
Do you remember a little while ago, I think we did talk about it, but I don't know if it was in any episode. Square Enix had publicly trademarked 2 titles.
Yes.
There was no mention of this Intergrade thing, so they kept that very secret. But they had publicly trademarked The First Soldier and Ever Crisis, and everyone was like throwing their guesses in, and everyone got it wrong as to what that could be. And The First Soldier, everyone figured is like, right, that has to be Sephiroth, and it has to be, I don't know, could it be a DLC where you play as a younger Sephiroth, or could it be the name of the next game because you're hunting Sephiroth? And you're going to get the whole Nibelheim flashback shit, and it's all going to center around Sephiroth, right? So maybe The First Soldier is going to be the title. I'm kind of glad it's not, because it wouldn't be a very good or compelling title to something like that. But anyway, I don't think anyone imagined that it was going to be a battle royale game. What the hell?
It feels really out of character for Final Fantasy. Like, this is such an obvious, like, okay, we just need to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Final Fantasy VII Remake obviously was, you know, the way they shifted. They had to shift like halfway through development and stuff like that. Switch team, switch engine. I'd say they spent a lot of money on that game, and I imagine it did well, but probably we're still not earning. Like, they probably did really well, but they spent more than what they needed to because of that switch, I'd say.
That and possibly that their next projects are going to be so demanding of exploring old content that they need as much money as well, just in case.
So it looks as though they just took like the game engine and said, well, what can we do with this? Like, we already have all the assets, we already have all the models and characters done. Like, what can we do? It's like, just slap some Fortnite on it and just sell it. Okay.
Yeah. It's a weird idea.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be for me. Maybe some people are excited about it, or some people find it fun, but that wouldn't be for me at all.
I think it's weird, and I've seen it. A few other people are like this with both of the titles, actually, because they're both mobile games.
Yeah.
People are a bit like, why mobile? Why not just put it on console?
I don't get mobile for this one. The other one, I don't have any problems with it being mobile.
I don't.
But this one in particular, there's no other reason to make this mobile other than to make a buttload of money. That is the only reason. This is such an obvious, we need money, please. Like, honestly, they might as well just set up a Kickstarter. Like, and it's like,
I'd support him. I'd fucking support the shit out of it.
Yeah. But it's the equivalent. Like, it is the equivalent. It's
I know,
like,
right.
You know, mobile gaming makes way more money than console gaming. Just hands down. It just does. And especially in Asia, Japan, etc.
Yeah.
I'd say Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually for the Western market, and these two are for the Asian market.
Do you know what? You're probably right. Like, Final Fantasy VII is obviously hugely popular in Asia, but I feel like all the Final Fantasies are, and that's one of those ones where, like, they could be like, I don't know why you guys like this one so much. Like, we like it too, but, like, you know, there's loads of great games. Whereas, like, over in the West, it was just the one that just exploded. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think you're probably right. Like, I think 7 Remake was way more impactful. I don't know, you see. We don't really get a lot
don't have the numbers.
No, we don't get a lot of, like, coverage of, like, the
market of each country or each region.
Like, when it's showing off at, like, E3 or something like that, like, that's a Western audience. Yeah. So that's the kind of reaction that we're gauging anyway. So it's hard to know, but I do think the 7 Remake was, like, nearly geared at a Western audience, even just in the way it's presented and produced. It kind of felt that way. Like, it felt a touch different to the likes of, say, Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
You know? First Soldier, not for me, but sure. I mean, sure. You know, if someone likes it, there you go.
Looks like fun, and some of how they utilize some of the abilities was kind of interesting.
Cool,
like
summons.
That's cool summons, but they also, like, I think someone cast, like, Aeroga and created, like, this whirlwind, then jumped, and then it boosted him onto the rooftop, and I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play this game, but it was kind of cool, like, seeing people then use these spells and summons and weapons in a tactical way. It's weird, though. It is weird.
No. As for the other one,
I don't believe that. That was better than all of State of Play.
That should be that's the biggest fucking deal ever. I watched that. Okay, so first as they were doing it, I was like, "What? You couldn't kidding me? I could play Final Fantasy VII again, again."
Yeah.
Another way, like how fucking lucky am I that I live in a world where my favorite game keeps getting remade or remastered on every possible console. Like, I already have it on this phone, on another phone, on this fucking little PlayStation console, on that PlayStation console, on another PlayStation console. I get a remake of the remake, and I'm getting another remake. What? Like, what?
I think firstly, yeah. So, like, this Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and it's like, you know, replay. I can't remember what I said, but it's basically like play Final Fantasy VII again. Basically, is what I said. To summarize, it's just said, "Do you want to play Final Fantasy VII again?"
And I said,
"Here you go."
Yeah, I do.
What I fucking loved about it was that it's like similar to the Abe's Oddworld Soulstorm. It's like it's the classic game,
yes,
with like these upgraded graphics, but it's still top down.
So,
but then you go into battle mode. And it's the fire with the what?
Right. So what they've done is they have made the game that anyone who didn't like, You know the way some people did actually want the new remake to play like the old game, but just updated graphics. That's what they wanted, right? Yeah. So for this game, they've got choppy, kind of cartoony graphics in replacement for polygons.
Yeah.
And then when it goes into turn-based, where in the original it always looks a bit better and better 3D models, they've got the fucking graphics from the remake, but it's still turn-based battle. It's a turn. What the fuck is going on? How did they do this? How are they making this? But it's not just that.
It is episodic, so it's not the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is episodic, so it's probably just Midgar sequence. Interestingly enough, when they were showing that gameplay, Aerith was with you at a point when Aerith was originally, which has caught people's attention. Because I was reading the comments to it, so that's where I kind of found out people weren't particularly happy with it being on mobile. I suppose that's probably just a mobile thing, because it's like, oh, look, you have Aerith with you. Oh, look, select your team sort of thing, maybe.
I think it's just for demonstration purposes.
Yeah, I hope could be. Because either way,
fucking
graphics. My phone is going to fucking die playing that game, and it will be a worthy sacrifice.
That's coming next year. I am getting that.
I highly doubt your phone can play it. I'm going to be honest.
You need to buy a new phone.
Buy a new phone.
I reckon it sounds like it is going to be episodic. It sounds like the first episode will be free, and then you pay for the rest.
Yeah, that's the only. Yeah, that would be my only concern with this, because it was like, okay, if it was just Final Fantasy VII, right? It's like, okay, how much would the episodes be? Maybe it would run you up to 90, 100 quid, maybe, because I can imagine the episodes costing quite a bit, and it's just probably going to be a lot.
Maybe even like 15 quid a pop or 12 quid a pop, right?
Possibly. But it's not just that.
No.
It's the entire compilation, which I was like, how?
How are they doing this?
How? Like, how? I get to play, like, Crisis Core in a way that it was never experienced before. Like, in a proper Final Fantasy manner.
Yeah, not just that. So they're remaking Dirge of Cerberus in this style. They're remaking Before Crisis in this style. What the fuck is Advent Children? Advent Children was there. Do you play the events of Advent Children in this stuff? What is happening? And why is it only a mobile? This is like a huge event. This is crazy.
Well, that's the thing with it. Like, it's like, why is it only mobile? But that's why it's like, I mean, everyone's got a fucking phone on them. You know what I mean?
I know, right? It's
so
you're everyone.
Yeah, everyone can now play this, and obviously in Asia, like, mobile gaming is dominating. Over anything else, that's dominating. And, you know, unlike the other one, which, you know, the Battle Royale, I think is too complicated for phones because of the amount of controls. This is just going to be literally tap, 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 tap. Like, I mean, we've got Final Fantasy VII available on mobile already. So in terms of gameplay, it's going to be easy, and it's going to be with you everywhere you go.
I have found turn-based RPGs work really well as mobile games, so I am so okay with this. Like, this really works for me. Plus, there's like, you can nowadays with a modern phone, you can, like, if you want to play, if you feel like this game should be a console, right? And it's not like, if it was console, I would be really thrilled too. So like, I would be with you. But you can connect your controller to the phone and cast your phone to the TV and turn your phone into the console and play that game up on the screen. Because I've done that. I did that with Final Fantasy VI and played that for a while, and it worked really, really well. So you can do that. It takes a little bit of time, but
the thing that has me a bit like
right,
is that like I'm sure on Android as well, there's going to be like really, really great like kind of workarounds, because you can do some amazing stuff with Android with little kind of Android boxes and stuff like that. So you could possibly make a little console that's exclusively just a Final Fantasy machine. But one of the latest like updates to the iPhone and Mac side of things is that the Mac, some of the newer Macs, for example, are able to play iOS games. You can play Final thing. But if it was on Apple TV as well, because technically it's an iOS thing.
Yeah.
You could then play it up on the big screen with that. So having it on mobile, iOS and Android, depends on what they do. They might end up like restricting it to the phone, which I highly doubt they will.
Yeah, I doubt it.
There are still lots of opportunities to play it in literally any location you want, because you can get Android boxes, you can get Apple TVs and stuff like that. There's ways that you can get it anywhere and continue it as well. So you could play it on your phone, you could play it on the TV, you could play it on your tablet, with a controller, without a controller, whatever way you want. Like, fucking hell.
I seen some people actually in the comments saying that they wouldn't mind it going to Switch, or they would like it to go to Switch.
Yeah, that
I would like that.
I'd like that. It would work well on Switch. I think that would be good. I'd be okay with that.
That's weird to me. Because the Switch was already outdated when it launched.
Right. No, I'm just saying that, like, I'm not saying go exclusively to Switch.
No, I mean at all. I think launching on the Switch, like, yes, it could handle it, but it'll probably be like they'd have to really degrade the thing. And considering this is coming out next year, and then by the time we actually get a playable version of like Crisis Core or Adventure, and like this is easily a 10-year plan in terms of like when are you actually going to get to the end of this content, right? You know what I mean?
Do you want to hear my concern?
Go on in.
That came after my excitement for all of this.
Go on in.
Okay, so you've made a huge promise.
Yeah.
A huge promise.
Yeah.
Like not just one game, like massive.
Yeah.
And you've said it's going to be episodic. I don't think they're going to finish it. I think
they will.
At some point, the interest will drop. At some point, like it depends. Like, are they going to do all of 7 and then all of Crisis Core, say, and then, or will they do like an episode of 7, an episode of Crisis Core, an episode, and keep going? Like, I don't know, but I have a concern. Yeah. I hope they do. I'm really excited for it. I was stoked when I saw it. It was one of the coolest things I've seen in a long fucking time. I was like, this is so cool. Another remake in another style, like fucking wow. And it's probably going to have the reorchestrated music just because of the style, like that they're using the remake footage for the combat. So it's probably going to have like the newer music. But I would be a little bit concerned about whether this project sees the end, whether it actually gets finished.
See, the way I kind of look at it, I think the way they're probably doing it is, well, yeah, it's another way to make money, and it's another way to get money constantly. You keep going with it, and as long as people keep buying it, like obviously it's going to do well. Yeah. But it totally makes sense to me now why they're using Unreal Engine, because they're probably already planning. They make their bit, right? Like they're probably the mobile game. They probably already have a lot of that in front of them because that's their map. They're making it like that. It's just Unreal Engine shrunken down.
Right.
And it's like they're doing their little like they're planning out the game, right? And they probably are already planning it like the original, just to see like top down and seeing. All right, if we go in here, but if we go in there, like, can we restructure this, right? And developing it with Unreal Engine and stuff like that. And they can scale it up and scale it down, right? That's why they're able to do such a great, like, remaster on PS5, and that's why they're able to get it on mobile for the kind of Fortnite style game.
Yeah.
This is the same engine, you just swap it over, scale it up, scale it down. So I think this is essentially their, like, plan of the remake game. And they've just decided to package it and sell it also. you
think so?
I feel like it, yeah. I feel like this.
The way you're talking about it almost sounds like, Kevin Feige with the MCU. This is the Final Fantasy VII game universe.
Yeah.
Wait, see, that's the thing. This is essentially like they've just. I'm flashing back to, like, was it 2005 when they just came out with all this extra compilation shit for. This is just more like they're just expanding on the Final Fantasy VII compilation with more and more stuff.
Yeah, that's what I really like about this is like it's like okay, you've now allowed me the opportunity to finally play all of Final Fantasy VII because I couldn't. My Crisis Core is stuck on a machine that I can't fucking play anymore.
Yeah.
Because the battery's gone and it's all this kind of stuff, and you can't get Crisis Core in any other way other than UMD. Unless,
yes.
Of course, you go down the illegal road, but officially you cannot get Crisis Core like on the Vita or anything like that. If I want to play Dirge of Service, it's incredibly painful because it's shit.
Yeah.
And if I want to watch, Advent Children is the only one that's fine.
Yeah.
Cannot play Before Crisis because it was never launched outside of Japan.
No, yeah. So there's loads of shit
another mobile
that we
game.
don't know. Yeah.
But now they're like, okay, here you go. We're gonna do you all a favor.
Thanks, guys.
Really
appreciate it. It's fucking crazy. Like,
so good.
I can't help but have those little concerns just because like it's such a huge fucking like promise. At the same time, because I'm like, hold on now, hold on. Why you work on the remake? What's going on? Like, obviously it's a different team, but I'm just like, why is there so much stuff coming? I'm excited, but fucking calm down.
See, that's the thing. Like, I actually do think it's
they've got like a roadmap. They're roadmapping this shit out.
It's like as they're making it, they're able to just kind of go shrink and repackage. Like,
there you go.
And then shrink and send that off to the Battle Royale team. It's literally, okay, we've got the same product. It's like, you know when you go into Lidl and Aldi and you realize they have the same fucking stuff as what's over in Tesco, but it's just like, it's the same product but a different package.
Yeah.
And you're just selling it across 3 different stores. It's like that. I imagine that's what they're doing. So it's actually not much more effort. And this was probably part of their pitch when they decided, instead of canceling the whole project, they were probably like, look, okay, maybe not. Let's just switch our game engine over to Unreal Engine, right? And the big executives are like, are you crazy? Switch the whole thing over? No, I'm canceling it now. But if we do that, if we switch to Unreal Engine, we can repackage it and sell it across mobile in many different ways. Ooh, okay. Money.
Well, do you know what? You know what? You're making a lot of sense. You're probably right. And I will buy it over and over again. Are you kidding me?
Buy it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. But now the question is,
not be able to play it because the phone's shit.
Yeah. The question is, will everyone else? Are you looking forward to either Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis or Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier or anything? And also all the other games that we mentioned. And Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, the Yuffie DLC. Let us know. Get in touch. Let us know which games you're looking forward to.
Knockout City.
Yeah, Knockout fucking City. You knocked it out of the park. Yeah. So if you've been watching us on YouTube, jump down in the comments. Let us know which games you're looking forward to and give us your thoughts on all these games and all the announcements and what the hell is going on in Final Fantasy VII world. It's nuts. If you've enjoyed this, maybe give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell so that you know when we're putting out new content. You can also follow our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. Get in touch with us if you've been listening to us on audio platforms as well, just to let us know. Send us a quick message or throw in a comment. Let us know which games you're looking forward to and what your thoughts on all those games are. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. We'll be back next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.